Hey everybody, welcome back to Chat Happens. I'm Eric.
I'm Tristan.
And today we're going to go over some news that happened earlier in the week. But if you're not familiar with the show, you're going to get my Gen X perspective.
And my Gen Z perspective.
Which is about a 24-year gap there. So pretty neat perspectives from my generation and your generation on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing is off limits. We'll talk about everything. Mm-hmm. Politics, news, we'll do food reviews, just all kind of things. So anyway, for today's show, we're going to jump right in and talk about Trump again. And he seems to be in the news every single day for some reason or the other.
Always doing something.
Yeah.
Always doing something.
It's like I said yesterday, in yesterday's show, he's like the Christmas present that just keeps on giving because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, he met with the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney yesterday, and that was pretty interesting, because Trump on the campaign trail referred to Canada as the 51st state, referred to their prime minister at the time as the 51st governor of the 51st state. He's spoken several times since being elected that he would like to see Canada become the 51st state. Well, of course, Canadians are going to have something to say about that, right?
Yeah.
That's their homeland. That's their country.
I don't agree with that.
Besides that, they're kind of owned by the crown, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, naturally, what does the mainstream media do? They try to get them to get into an argument, kind of like Zelensky did when he was there seeing Trump in the Oval Office. Did not go well if y'all hadn't seen that video.
Did not go well at all.
No. I was literally like, the whole time. But anyway, some small fireworks, but nothing real major. All the major media outlets made it out to be like, they were having a knockdown drag out in the Oval Office when they said was to be expected. Trump said he'd like to see Canada be the 51st state and that we don't need anything from Canada, that we provide Canada with most of their military support, which Carney then said that they're working on now, reducing that to kind of protect themselves instead of having us protect them. But then Carney fired back with, well, Canada is not for sale and we're not going to be the 51st state and blah, He is protecting his country like Trump's trying to protect his. So it really wasn't a big blow up or fireworks show. But of course, the media spun it that way because that makes Trump look bad.
Yeah. Anything to make him look bad, right?
Yeah, right. So what else is going on in the world besides Trump?
More of the Diddy trial.
More of the Diddy trial, which this is Wednesday. So it's day 3 of jury selection. And if I remember correctly, Judge A sub above, said that he'd like to have that wrapped up today.
Oh, yeah. The prosecutor said that his lawyers should not speak to the press.
Well, yeah, that's probably, makes a lot of sense. The press is going to be like attack dogs when it comes to wanting to get information about, the inside Iggy on the whole case. And you would have a tendency, if you're the lawyer, it's a 50-50 chance. Either you're going to make him look better or you're going to make him look worse. And right now, he doesn't need to look worse on anything.
Speaking of that, so his first day was Monday, the 5th.
Right.
And he said a 9-word statement.
He did say a 9-word statement. He spoke in court Monday.
He said, "I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm just nervous."
What did he say that about?
Well, apparently his defense attorney asked for a bathroom break and, the judge said, "I'm a machine."
So like he can go all day
without going. And then I guess after that, he said, "I'm just nervous." Of course he would be nervous. He's facing a lot of federal charges.
Yeah. So if I was him, I'd be in the bathroom every chance I could get just to get the hell out of that courtroom.
His appearance also changed.
Oh, did it?
He's got a goatee now.
Yeah.
And, white facial hair now. His hair is almost white because, they can't dye their hair in prison.
Well, that makes sense. So I remember Puff Daddy from my era had a goatee, but it was always, jet black.
Yeah, because, he dyed it.
Yeah.
And when they were doing jury selections, they listed off some celebrity names. One of them being Michael B. Jordan, because he had a romantic past with Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Casey. And allegedly, when Diddy found out, he reacted very violently to her.
I imagine so. Is that when he beat her up in the hotel, I wonder?
Maybe it could be. I don't know.
I don't really know much about that video.
Another one being Mike Myers.
The actor Mike Myers? Like from Austin Powers?
Because apparently there was a joke he made. So, I don't know the joke, but it said Austin Powers related joke.
Okay. There's no telling.
So
that gives you a little insight, though, on the upcoming trial. Like, what kind of big celebrity names is going to be brought out in this trial?
Kanye West and Kid Cudi were also named.
Okay, Kanye.
You probably don't know who Kid Cudi is. He's a rapper.
Yeah, I have no idea that.
But Kanye West being one. The only reason why they were brought up is...
Didn't Kanye and Kim get divorced?
Yeah, they did.
I wonder if they got divorced because of what's going to come out in this trial.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
And of course, Cassie is also named. She's a key witness in all of it.
Well, yeah, she's like victim number one, apparently. So,
yeah.
Well, not number one in timeline, but number one to come forward with all of this stuff. So.
And a few others, but an actress named Lauren London.
I don't know who that is either.
Me either. A singer named Michelle. I
don't know.
Don't know. And someone named Lori Ann.
So, yeah, like a lot of celebrity names coming up in this trial, and it's going to be something to watch out for. And we're going to try to do an update at least a couple of times a week on it.
Mm-hmm. And they said...
and if anything happens big during the trial, we'll do it that day, too.
They also said what he was wearing, too. He was wearing some pants, like I think gray, if I read it right, a white collared shirt, and a sweater over it.
Oh, yeah, like the old school Puff Daddy. That's how he used to look back in the old school. But yeah, I think his initial court appearance Monday, I think he was wearing an orange and white jumpsuit, which suits him pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, he hugged and shook hands with his attorney, which I think that's probably normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
So.
But the media, they're going to try to dissect this, and they're going to magnify the least little thing.
They're going to try to make a connection to him and his lawyer.
Or something.
Oh, like they were like a thing or something.
Yeah.
This story and everything that he's done just intertwines with everything.
Yeah, all, like I said, Hollywood, the recording industry.
Everything.
All of it.
Because he owned a record label.
Except who? Mr. Cat Williams. Cat Williams has been telling us about this for years now.
And 50 Cent, too.
And it seems like all the predictions that he made on the Shay Shay show coming true.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all I have about that. I just read it today and thought it was pretty interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, well, any news concerning Diddy in the trial, we're going to try to,
Oh, yeah.
So.
I read that. I was like, oh, he spoke? I have to jot that down.
Yeah, I wonder why that didn't show up before. I don't know.
And you were telling me something yesterday about
the
aircraft thing where they lost connection for like 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So apparently last week, and it couldn't have been too big of a deal. We're just finding out about it this week. But apparently last week, the airport at Newark, New Jersey, the air traffic controllers lost contact with every plane, and the radar went down. Apparently, the way they're describing it is there's a communication line that runs from like where the radar and the antenna and all that is for the radios back to the control tower, and that cable went down, and the backup didn't kick in, and somebody had to manually kick the backup in. So anyway, they lost communication with all planes and lost all visual on all planes for 30 whole seconds.
And a lot can happen in 30 seconds.
A lot can happen in 30 seconds, but with today's modern airplanes, most of them have onboard radar and GPS and all that, so collision avoidance systems. Mm-hmm. So 30 seconds is not that big of a deal, but I mean, it is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, though. But going back to what you said earlier about Trump, it seems like that politicians these days are taking every opportunity they can to try to make Trump and his administration look bad, even if he's not involved in it.
Right.
And I don't think they realize that it's rhetoric like that and the failure to see reality that they're on the losing end of elections and their party is collapsing from the inside. And a perfect example of that is dealing with this 30-second outage at Newark. Democrat Representative Hakeem Jeffries from New York, of course, had to go out and spew all kind of lies and misinformation, saying that it's Trump's fault because he's gutted the FAA and he's making transportation less safe for everybody.
I mean, it's not like Trump came up there and took the wires himself, right?
Yeah, right. When truth be told, the Air Traffic Controllers Association put out a press statement saying that it was due to antiquated and old equipment. It just failed. The equipment failed, and the backup didn't kick in. And to substantiate that claim, Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy put out a statement, or actually did a press conference, and said that it was due to antiquated and old equipment. It just failed, and the backup didn't kick in, and somebody had to manually turn the backup on.
What's going to happen with old equipment? It's going to end up failing eventually.
They're saying a lot of this equipment that's running these airports are from the 70s and 80s.
And it's 2025.
Yeah, so like these are old systems.
40 years old equipment.
Yeah, it's that way with pretty much when it comes to the government and equipment, because they don't want to spend money except to send money overseas to transgender operas and whatnot.
And that's a different story.
Oh my God. Get me started on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but here's the kicker with the whole story.
What's that?
So it goes down for 30 seconds.
Right.
The air traffic controllers that were working when the outage happened, they have now taken a leave of absence due to trauma.
Trauma?
Trauma.
Because the equipment failed.
Yes, that is exactly what it's called. So under the Federal Employees Compensation Act, they are given up to 45 days. 45,
so over a month.
A month and a half.
A month and a half off.
45 days of leave due to trauma of equipment failure. You know how many jobs I've worked at where stuff went down? And you had to make do or do something. You didn't get off for 45 days. And this just goes to show that the DEI practices of the previous administration has put people into these positions that can't even handle the stress of the system going down for 30 seconds.
They're being babied.
They are being, and they're coddled. And if you can't handle an equipment failure for 30 seconds, you damn sure don't need to be in that air traffic control tower directing planes with hundreds of people on them on a daily basis. I mean, what happens if you stump your toe going to the bathroom? Are you going to be shut down for a day? And the big part of that is they're already short-staffed in Newark, so they can't afford to have people take off for 45 days because they're going to make the situation less safe.
And who's going to work the towers?
By having more people cover their position. Like, the whole thing's just crazy. 45 days.
That's insane.
That's nuts. Also, Trump yesterday talked about FIFA and the World Cup, of course, with J.D. Vance and some other people in the room. I'm not a real big soccer fan, so I really don't know a lot about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really keep up with it. And also in the Trump-related news yesterday, Attorney General Pam Bondi gave a press briefer with the DEA and the U.S. Attorney's Office, where she talked about a drug bust they did in New Mexico, and it netted 2.7 million fentanyl pills.
What?
2.7 million pills. 11.5 kilograms of raw concentrated fentanyl powder, 7 pounds of meth, several kilograms each of heroin and cocaine, lots of guns, and like hundreds of thousands of dollars of money. And do you know who these people were?
Illegal immigrants.
From the Mexican drug cartels.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And fentanyl, like, here in the States is already pretty bad already.
Oh, it is really, really, really bad. And China manufactures the precursors to it, ships it to Mexico and Canada, and then they smuggle it across the border.
Yeah. Teens have gotten it off of Snapchat. There's a story about that.
There was
boys that happened. They got the fentanyl online because of...
Yeah, I seen that story.
Or was it with laced in pot?
Yeah, it was. Well, that happened too. Both of those situations have happened. One of the ladies who spoke at a executive order Trump signed, her son had died because he thought he was getting a Xanax pill from somebody he met on Snapchat.
But it was
And turns out it was fentanyl and killed him. So one mistake, and getting high is one thing. Everybody does that growing up at some point.
And wasn't he like a senior in high school or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then you make a stupid decision as a kid and you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So yeah, the Mexican drug cartels from Mexico, there was 16 people in this organization scattered throughout a bunch of states. New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, Utah. They actually captured the leader of this group in Utah.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's Mormon country.
Oh, Lord.
So anyway, I just thought I would talk about that for a second. Really good job on the DEA. Really good job on the attorney's office and the Department of Homeland Security. Just amazing. And
because we really got to crunch on that fentanyl problem. It's horrible.
Yes.
And, I know you can get it prescribed, but you have to have a very low dosage.
Yeah,
of
it's
it.
a very, very minute amount. She even said yesterday, Attorney General Bondi, she held up a glass vial and it had 3 grains of salt in it, 3 grains of salt.
Right.
And she said that's the lethal amount of fentanyl, those 3 grains, and they got 11.5 kilograms of that raw powder. You could kill millions of people with the amount of fentanyl they got out of the United States.
That's sad.
Those were already here.
That's really sad and heartbreaking.
And how many families has that ruined?
A lot.
Man, every family's touched by it. Our family was touched by it, and we've dealt with it for a long period of time. Seems to be okay now, but you never know when they're going to relapse. Mm-hmm. And fentanyl has just exasperated the situation. But anyway, that's all I got on that.
That's all I got for today. What about you?
Well, that's all I got for today. Well, that was a pretty quick show. Hey, do y'all know where Chucky is hiding at today? Where is Chucky? I don't know where Chucky is. Mm-hmm. But he's somewhere. Anyway, if y'all can spot Chucky on the set somewhere, just comment down below. There's no prize or anything yet. So it's just, you may get a thumbs up from us or a comment or a like or something. But we may mention you in the next one or something. But
maybe.
Anyway, you don't want to go looking like you're uninformed. So make sure you like and subscribe for the next time that
chat happens.
You'll know what's going on. All right. Y'all take care now.
Bye-bye. Okay. Chat happens. Episode 2. Trump, Diddy, and fentanyl issues. Take 1.
What do we got on the top of the agenda today? And I just messed all that up. And he's talked several times since the election about, since his election. All the media judge us. And if I remember correctly.
So, the prosecutor said his defense attorney. In relations to his girlfriend at the time. Michael B. Jordan was named. And that's all.
I actually got on the camera.
You caught it?
I did catch it.